Good afternoon. This is David Bowman, Tutoring Coordinator with CLPlus, the Three Rivers Education Foundation Literacy Initiative. If you have used the iReady system in the past, you will notice that looks quite different than how it used to. So this quick video here will show you where to find some information that you will find useful. So I'm logging in as a tutor. And when I do, first thing I've got is my dashboard. Now, you have three big buttons across the top. The first one is diagnostic status, and this is just a quick dashboard type snapshot of how many students you have, how many have completed the test, how many are in the middle of taking the diagnostic, and how many have not yet started. The next one is called diagnostic results, and again, it's a dashboard that tells you very quickly how many of your students are on level, marked green, how many are one grade level below, and how many are two or more below. The final button tells you the total number of students and the percentage who have completed the diagnostic. Diagnostic growth, we don't use the growth measurement tool, so that one we can simply ignore. Now across the top you have some options, and the first one is called roster. So let's start there. Now under roster, you're going to see the list of students in your tutoring group. So there's some information about the tutoring group itself, and then your students are below it. Now, since we are in the roster function with our list of students, we can click on those individual names to bring up information about the students. So I'm going to click on Joe Smith. Now what this is going to show me, since it's going to show me the diagnostic results for the students. Now these three made-believe students they haven't taken the test, so there's not any information here. But if you have students who have taken the test, what you will see is information about their results. You're going to get their score, their overall placement, and where they did on the various domains that iReady measures. To switch among students, you can simply click on the students' names here at the top, and you can look from student to see their diagnostic results. To get back to the main screen, let's click on the close link or the little X up here in the upper right hand corner. So we're back on student rosters. Now, by clicking on the names, I got the information about their diagnostic, how they did on the diagnostic assessment. But to the left of their names, there's a little plus mark, and you can click on those plus marks to get the information about the student's profile, name, username, ID, and so forth. The username you may need if you're trying to assist students to log in. The other thing which is very useful here is the student's password. And next to the password, there's a little link that says Show. I can click on that to see the student's password. So if you ever need to go back and find out what a password or username is, login information for your student, this is the place to do it. We're in Rosters, and from Rosters, we click the little plus mark next to the student's name, and there is the username, and down here is the password. Alright, so that's information about the students and login information and class list and so forth. Now also across the top, we see what's called reports. And reports is a good place to go get information about students' diagnostic results. So I'm going to click on reports. I can look at the entire class, I can look at individual students, or I can look at what's called batch. We don't need to worry about batch. That's something we would use if you've got a whole classroom of students and you've broken them into different groups and so forth. We don't do that with tutoring, so the ones you're going to want are class and student. Let's start with class. Now you have some options. You can see their diagnostic status. Basically, have they taken the test or not? Or if they are in progress with the test, we can see how far along they are. The other one which is going to be useful to you is diagnostic results. How well do the students do? So let's start with diagnostic status, and I'm going to click on the link that says reading. Again, here's my little dashboard, how many have started or not, and how many have completed. Below is the list of students. Now, in the middle of the screen, we see this gray bar here, As the students take the test, that gray bar is slowly going to fill up with green. And when it is completely filled up with green, you know that the student has finished. But it does give you a way to see how far along in the test the students are. Now, next to that gray or green bar, you see the status of the diagnostic. These three students have not yet started the test, but the things that will be shown here will be either not started, or in progress, or completed. If the student has completed the assessment, then farther over here on the far right side, you're going to see the overall placement and score for that student. Well, since we are in the diagnostic status and reports, here we can click on the student's name, and you're going to see just what we saw before under rosters when we clicked on the name. Whenever you click on a student's name, you're going to get their diagnostic information, their score, their placement, and the scores on the various domains that it measured. And again, we can always click on student's name to go from student to student. All right, I'm going to click close up here in the upper right hand corner. Brings me back to diagnostic status. There's also another one here under class called diagnostic results. Let's try that. Here our dashboard looks like we saw on the home screen. How many students are on grade level, one grade level below, two grade levels below, and so forth. So this is very similar to what we looked at previously. The difference is that we're going to see a snapshot across of the diagnostic information for the students. Phonological awareness, phonics, high frequency words, and so forth. The various domains that are measured by iReady. So we can get a nice quick view to see where the students are in the various skills that iReady measures. And of course, we can always click on the individual student names, which is again going to bring us back to the screen here. Anytime you click on a student's name, this is what you're going to get. So let me close that. Now there's a couple of other options here. You can click around and see what else is going to be useful to you. But you'll see under reports, you can look at individual students, the diagnostic students for one student at a time, Common Core standard performance, where they might measure up against the Common Core, and so forth. There's really only one function on iReady that you will not use, and that is the assess and teach function. Here you can actually have tools to assign or unassign assessment for students, but you will not use this. The only time that you use iReady is for the pre-test and the post-test, and your coordinator will assign the diagnostics to your students. So you will not be doing that yourself. Only the coordinator does that. So that's some information that's available to you. If you ever want to get back to the very top level, the very first home screen, you can simply click on iReady up here in the top left, and it takes you back to where you started when you first entered. Hope you find this useful. If you have questions, make sure to contact your coordinator. Thank you so much, and have a great day.